Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm. It's always a pleasure to be in your company. Thank you so much for tuning in on this TGIF open line show. I do apologize for the late start. I don't know what's going on in Bailey Park, but that significantly slowed down traffic. A lot of traffic backed up in that area. And it caused me to be a little late today in terms of the traffic flow. But I'm here. And as always on a Friday, we treat this as an open line show where you get to be my co-host and you help to determine the direction of the show. And so today, on this 16th day of June, beautiful Friday afternoon, we're going to do the same. And so here's how you can become a part of the show. We're streaming live on Facebook, on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Also streaming live on our YouTube channels. The telephone numbers to call are 326-0271, 326-0271, 326-0272, 326-0272, and the WhatsApp line for messages, text messages, or calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. You can also catch us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974, and of course on your radio dial, 99.5 FM here in New Providence. You can also check us out on radio in Grand Bahama. Last but not least, download the Global 99.5 FM app, and you can listen to us there. So now that you know how you can chime in, I want to welcome you to be a part of the direction of the show today. Every Friday, you are my co-host. So as opposed to only discussing one particular topic, Fridays will be all over the place. Wherever you all want to go, that's where we go. Now, obviously, I prepare clips just in case you all hi-hat me. I know I sound like old people, right? When is the last time you heard the word hi-hat? But just in case you guys don't call in or, you all ain't got much to say, sweet girl ain't just come unprepared. So I have pulled some clips about some of the stories that are making headlines here in the Bahamas. But I want this to be about you guys and what you want to talk about today. And then almost everything goes within reason. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
Excellent. How are you?
Pretty good, Thank God for life.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start wishing the country a happy 50th anniversary, since, of course, officially it's going to be in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But, Michelle, I don't feel it. I'm sure. I understand there are a lot of things going on out
I just
there.
can see all these events going on around the place and you ain't feeling it yet. What it could take for you to feel it?
I can tell you, what it can take for me to feel it is to hear Bahamian music everywhere I go, and I don't hear Bahamian music everywhere I go. Me being a person who's blind, I see with my ears, and because I cannot hear Bahamian everywhere I go, it takes away from my experience of the celebration.
Okay.
Yeah. So just wanted to make that observation or comment rather. I'm calling for two things today, Michelle. Number one, I came across an article in the newspaper, Guardian newspaper, in the local news section yesterday. And it's just the title of it that kind of perplexes me a little bit. June 15th, I believe, is there a section yesterday in the Guardian. Anybody can look at it and see what I'm about to say. The title says, crime is down 30%, but rape is up. Now, I may not get the title quoted exactly, but that's the long and short of it. Now, what jumped out at me is, isn't rape a crime?
Yeah.
So why say crime is down, but rape is up?
Crime overall, because rape is not the only crime out there.
But that isn't what was said. And the heading is what I'm saying. That's what jumped out at me. Because if I'm hearing crime is down, I'm gonna take, I being the person who like to really dig into these things and analyze them, I'm gonna take that to mean crime generally, because crime is a general term.
Right.
It's inclusive of all aspects of criminal activity.
Right.
Rape, is one of them.
Right.
So I think I don't know. That's just something that just jumped out at me, kind of like what?
As a journalist, I don't see what the problem is. Crime, as you well pointed out, is not just limited to rape. So crime overall, incorporating all of the various crimes that could be committed, overall is down. But in this one particular area, it's not. I don't see what's so hard to
It's
understand.
the title, though. Just the title.
Well, when you're talking
Crime
about a
is down, but rape
headline,
is up.
when you're talking about a headline is just not a headline. They can't go into all this explanation. The headline.
Michelle, I appreciate that. Honestly, I do. But like I said, it's just that the contradiction in the phrasing of it just was like, what?
All right. So what's your second point? Because we have another caller. So what's your second point?
The second one is the debate in the House of Assembly this week. I've listened to a number of it. And those parliamentarians really got to learn how to behave in their boy.
Good luck with that.
Michael Pinta made a comment in regards to the Sovereign Wealth Fund, and the Prime Minister is because he wanted clarity, or something to that effect. And the Prime Minister responded. It basically said, "Well, what you want to debate," he said this to Pinta, "what you want to debate is what you debate. What we want to debate is what we want to debate," or words to that effect. My thing is, and he tried to explain why the Sovereign Wealth Fund is not a sovereign wealth fund like it's being done in other countries, wherein countries give their citizens a paycheck once a year.
Right.
My point is, Michelle, if that's what the people want, why not give we the Bahamian people a dividend from our sovereign wealth? And the Prime Minister, gave the impression that oil would have been the only basis for sovereign wealth funds in other countries in respect to the dividend, in respect to establishing them. But if oil is a natural resource, which it is, and it's being put in a sovereign wealth fund in other countries, why can't the natural resources of our country, no matter what they may be, also be put into a sovereign wealth fund? And the monies generated from those, yes, go toward building schools and roads, etc., and paying taxes or paying down on them, etc., etc. But why should you and I not get a dividend if indeed
did you
the
catch
money
my
is
show
there to do it?
yesterday? Did you
Huh?
catch my show yesterday?
No, unfortunately, no.
Go back and listen to that. That you might find your answer there.
Yeah, I hear you, Michelle, but
No, seriously, you need to hear that show. Go
they,
back,
they ain't want us rich, eh?
go and listen to the show from yesterday, and you very well may get your answer.
I will do my best on that, Michelle. Thank you for your
All
time
right.
there.
All right. Thanks for calling. All right, we have another call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Malcolm,
Hey,
I want to give first of all, good afternoon.
good afternoon.
Are you on the government? I think jobs is spreading out like a mushroom.
Hmm.
But starting with NIB, I think the government, what the Prime Minister should have taken the advice from his cabinet minister a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They have the books right in front of them. But he keep putting it off and saying he cannot put this burden and tax on the Bahamian people.
Mm-hmm.
Now he come back and after say now he can put the tax NIB next year.
Mm-hmm.
It make him look bad. They gotta speak with the same mind and with the same voice. They all gotta be on one accord.
That's what you call being between a rock and a hard place, so because on the one hand, if you increase it now, everybody gonna cry, oh, you say you wasn't gonna raise no taxes and you put more tax on the Bahamian people and yada yada. And I hear what you say about having one voice. I agree. But if you delay it, oh, y'all ain't got y'all locked. It's just like it's half a dozen on one hand and on six on the other. I mean, you between a rock and a hard place. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
That's the reason why they have the books when they come in. They should have be straight up at the Bahamian people.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know. The next point. The other day he praised this development just happened on Prince George Walk.
Mm-hmm.
He praised it. But yet still, his minister, I think was Tuesday, come back and say this is the worst agreement that ever happened in history. So, again, the minister saying something else.
Mm.
So, the Prime Minister need to show the Bahamian people what deal that the former Prime Minister make on the behalf of the Bahamian people.
So I pulled some clips to do with both of those things you bring up, NIB as well as the row that took place in the House of Assembly over the cruise port deal. So
Okay.
I did pull those clips for today.
Okay. My next point.
Uh-huh.
Glenn Watson is going back to ZNS.
Mm-hmm.
I think ZNS can be, you could be proud to go and watch it now. That's my belief.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that will be the talk of the town now because their rating, I believe, going up.
Mm-hmm.
And I see now where there's a lady who's teaching people how to cast out demons. Miss Malcolm?
I missed that one. What lady that is? Who that is?
That's what this Norwich woman.
Oh, okay. Marty
These
Norwich?
people gotta be careful.
Hmm.
You don't, and look at how much the people them is paying for this. They're
Wow.
paying her.
Wow.
I mean, these people, some of these, when you see these people going crazy in Nassau, wonder why what is taking place here. You can't not teach people how to cast out no demon. That got to authorize from the Holy Spirit.
Hmm.
That's where the power come from because nobody on this face of this earth have the answer for nothing, only except God reveal it to them.
Remember the Bible story about the sons of Sceva? I think that was the name. They go on, they see the disciples performing all these miracles, so they figure, oh, we can do that too. And they go on to this demon-possessed person and say, we come to cast you out. And boy, them demons would have beaten on them. They say, hold on now. Paul we know about. Jesus we know, but who you is? Because they clearly didn't have a relationship. So they thought they could just go in there and mimic what they saw the disciples do.
That's something, eh?
And boy, did they learn quickly that it don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
Yeah.
My last point is, now we see another man claiming he's a bishop, opening up a school to teach individuals how to become bishop. All is about this money. And you tell me we ain't living in the last of the last days? We seeing these things? It's all about money, and people are so gullible. Huh? People are so gullible for these things, and they don't know what is taking place. You never read inside the book where you see the apostle Emma, these such things, do teaching people how to become bishop and how to do all these things. Malcolm.
So what? This person will open a seminary school or something like what? How are they teaching you to be a bishop?
If you want me to call the person, then I could call it.
No matter to me one way or the other. You ain't saying nothing libelous, right?
Okay, Walter Hanschel.
Okay.
You know?
So is he opening some kind of seminary school?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And I mean, and when they read quite well in 1 Timothy, if a man desire an office of a bishop, let him be the husband of one wife, and begin to tell you what all the qualification. You don't need to go to school for that. Come on, man. Huh? But thank you for the time, Miss Malcolm.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, so he raised a couple of things. I did pull clips all, well, except for the last two about Marty Nottage and Walter Hanschel. I obviously, missed those stories. I didn't know anything about them. But I did pull some clips with regard to the NIB thing. I pulled some clips as it relates to the cruise port deal. I even pulled a clip about Clint Watson moving his NS. So, caller, you and I are on the same page. So here's what I'm going to do. Oh, my producer trying to tell me he's got me playing music. So, so let's take a commercial break. And then on the other side of the break, I'll decide which of those clips we're going to go with first. Unless that is, you decide to call it. So stay with us. This is GPS on TGIF Open Line Friday.
Global paradigm shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paint, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Trackline, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires, cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Last is love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
This Father's Day, why not take Dad to a wonderful brunch at Tiki Bikini Hut? Great food, great atmosphere, family-friendly atmosphere. They make you feel like a celebrity when you walk in. And I promise you it'll be a wonderful afternoon. And if you decide to go and you say GPS is where you heard about it, guess what, y'all? They'll give you all a sweet deal on your meal. So you're going to get it at a reduced price. You're going to enjoy the food. I can tell you now their food is absolutely scrumptious. And if you want to, you even walk through the beach with, your shoes off and play tourist for a little while. So it's all available to you at Tiki Bikini Hut on Junkanoo Beach. Make sure, though, you mention GPS, and they will take very good care of you. Okay, this is a TGIF open line show. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272. 3260272. The WhatsApp line is 801-0271, 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Global 99.5 FM and Michelle Malcolm pages, also streaming live on YouTube on our official channels. You can catch us on Cape Bahamas on channel 974, and of course on your radio dial, Global 99.5 FM here in New Providence. You can also tune in Grand Bahama. Last but not least, you can check us out on the Global 99.5 FM app. That's right. You can download the app to your smart device and tune into the show there. However you do it, come on in. We're waiting to hear from you because this is a TGIF open line show where you are my co-host and you help to direct where we go and what we talk about. Okay, so the last caller talked about the port deal and the controversy surrounding that was raised in the House of Assembly. So let's go there. Let's see what Minister Bell had to say with regard to the port deal, which he said is a pretty bad one. He painted a very grim, concerning picture about the numbers and the return that we, the people, can expect to get from the port. And here now is that.
Since the Member of Parliament of Kalani acknowledges that the Nassau Cruise Port is the F&M's baby, I suppose that this makes him the baby's daddy.
The shocking revelation came while Bell contributed to the 2023-2024 budget debate. Bell points to a lease for the cruise port negotiated under the former Minnis administration, which he revealed was not prepared by the Attorney General's office, but by the cruise port's attorneys.
I have never seen an unsigned, registered surveyor plan. My 23 years.
That's right.
In fact, Such a thing directly conflicts with the law. How could this be?
Bell also pointed to an offering memorandum of Bahamas Investment Fund Limited that outlines the financial projections. In 2023, the port is projected to earn $78 million in revenue, but pay $2.8 million to the government in lease fees. In 2024, the projected income is $90 million, with only $2.6 million going to the government. In 2025, $97.6 million, with $2.6 million going to the government. In 2026, $105 million, with $2.6 million going to the government. And in 2027, $114.8 million, with only $2.8 million going to the government.
That's on average $115 million per year. Multiply that by 27.
Let me do it.
That is $3,109,320,000. That is more than the entire national budget we're debating today.
Bell insists the former prime minister and his administration need to be held responsible for the deal. But the bombshells didn't stop there. The immigration minister says the document outlines two key terms of the deal.
Nassau Cruise Port will be entitled in its absolute discretion to increase the passenger facility charge and the port facility fee with the U.S. Consumer Price Index of up to 5% a year. God help us all.
Interesting revelations. Well, of course, former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis had to stand in defense of the deal. And so here is what he had to say.
If you look at the VAT revenue, it has gone up tremendously. That goes to the government. So the member only needs to review the benefits to the Bahamian people so that he can stop giving erroneous information to the populace.
The former prime minister quickly sought to clarify the details of the cruise port deal, following Immigration Minister Keith Bell's assertion that the Bahamian people have zero ownership in the port. Dr. Minnis says 49% of the port is owned by Global Ports Limited, 2% the Yes Foundation, and the remaining 49% is owned by the Bahamian people. Dr. Minnis also sought to clarify the annual income.
The government is receiving, to give the exact amount, $19.44 per passenger. And even they would admit that the passenger volume has increased. That's what government gets. This would add up to approximately $80 million per year the government gets. In addition to that, the government gets revenue of over $400 million annually to the country.
The former prime minister has gone on record to call the cruise port the F&M's baby, suggesting the PLP would take credit for the F&M's work. But Bell asserts otherwise. Dr. Minnis, meantime, says revenue will rise as tourism continues to rebound.
And as the passenger volume continue to rise, so does the revenue for the Bahamian people and the revenue for the government.
Minnis says the government receives 10% of VAT on all of that, adding that many taxi drivers, straw vendors, and hair braiders are benefiting from the deal. However, the official opposition questioned why they didn't cancel the deal, which prompted this screaming match between both sides.
So as bad as the deal is, why did the government let the deal go through?
Okay, all right. Okay, once again, that's not a point of order, St. Barnabas.
If it's bad for the Bahamian people,
okay.
If it's bad for the Bahamian
the chair recognizes the honourable member for Kalani. That's not a point of order. Sit down.
Mr.
And
Deputy.
I'm warning you.
Mr. Deputy.
I am warning you to sit down.
Okay, one more. The port CEO, Mr. Mora, also spoke to the media to defend the numbers. And here's what he had to say with regard to that.
The Nassau Cruise Port releasing their revenue forecast for 2023 through 2027, prompting Immigration Minister Keith Bell to blast the deal between government and the cruise port. CEO of the Nassau Cruise Port, Mike Morris, says they are willing to stand behind those numbers and that just this morning he had a conversation with Bell.
When the country was once again opening the door to cruise tourism, it happened right here at Nassau Cruise Port. And the minister was instrumental from an immigration perspective in getting our tourism product back on the water. And so I expressed my gratitude to him. Following that, he very swiftly pledged his continued support and that support of his ministry. He mentioned that, we must have a strong partnership between Nassau Cruise Port and the government of the Bahamas.
Morris says their numbers are strong, surpassing the record-breaking numbers from 2019.
Those passenger numbers are what drive the profits of the company, which fuel the dividends going to investors. So comments that are happening in other places, I don't think should be a concern for our investors.
Since the cruise port's opening on May 26, he says visitor and vendor feedback has been phenomenal.
The experiences that we're hearing about from the vendors that we have through the marketplace and through the port square is very, very positive. In talking with downtown business operators, most recently 30 minutes ago on Bay Street, their business is up. People on Woods Rogers, their business is up.
All right, so I'd love to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on this? It's like you wonder when you hear all of these different sides talking whether or not they are talking about the same project. Because on one hand, it's being painted that this is a deal from hell for the Bahamian people, and then on the other hand, you're saying, "Oh no, this came down straight from heaven, and this is how we're going to benefit." Who's right and who's wrong? Because it can't both be right, can they? Very, very interesting indeed. It's all about the spin, I suppose. Only the question is whose spin is closer to the truth. So Louis Barton says the only person benefiting is the set who had it in to invest. Sam says, I'm reading from Facebook here, Facebook comments. Sam says, what does the port deal have to do with the F&M increasing VAT? Okay. And Quintero says, I have a question, Ms. Malcolm. How do realtor companies obtain so much land in the Bahamas? Well, Quintero, you better go take one history lesson to find out how they get so much land. That's all I can say on that. Yeah. That requires a bit of a history lesson. How their ancestors, how the people who came before them, their forefathers, whatever you want to call them, how they acquired the land and now selling it. Back to you all. Okay, so Sandra is asking the question, if the PLP think it's not a good deal, then why didn't they change the deal before it's open? I don't know. I haven't seen the agreement. It very well could have been where there was some clause that made it practically impossible to get out of the deal without having to pay huge sums of money. Because if you got a good lawyer to negotiate a contract, many contracts are like that. They say, you could get out, but what it can cost you to get out, cheaper you stay in. So I don't know. I haven't seen the agreement. I'm just speculating that maybe that is why it was allowed to continue. Maybe it was an airtight contract clause that would make it very, very difficult to get out without having to pay exorbitant sums of money. So that could be an answer. But again, having not seen the agreement, then, I really couldn't say. So Lewis says, a fisherman never calls his fish stink. And Sandra says, they always break all the rules. Look what they did with Bahama. Well, again, that depends on the contract. So you can't compare the two. You can't do that, because what was written in the Bahama contract may be very different from what was written in the port contract. So you can't say, well, look at what happened there and why didn't it happen here? They're not operating under the same contract. So again, I haven't seen it. I don't know what it says. I can only speculate like you, okay, as to why if they think it's such a bad deal, will they allow it to go through? Their hands may have been tied in that regard, depending on the contract. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, you're hearing both sides argue, and man, depending on who you believe, this is either the deal from hell or deal straight from the throne above. I don't know. I would love to get my hands on that contract so I could see exactly what it says and how the payment people are benefiting, to what degree, um, whether or not Bell was in fact misleading the House, or if he just was bringing the facts as they are, and Menace, whether or not he's just trying to justify some kind of deal that was not necessarily in the best interest of the Bahamian people, whether or not he's just putting a spin on it. It would be very interesting to see that actual contract. I couldn't comment on it further because I would be doing so blindly. Sandra says, yeah, who lies the best? And Richard says, Ms. Malcolm, if the deal is so bad, maybe now the government can pass the Freedom of Information Act, and that would let us see the deal in detail. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? But you notice how successive governments, successive administrations don't seem to be in any rush to pass that or to implement it. You ever notice that? Things that make you go, Okay, so another thing that the caller in a previous segment raised was the whole question of NIB. And I also put a clip as it relates to what is happening with the NIB increase and what seems to be, government's silence on details as to what that increase will look like next year. Here now is another clip as it relates to that.
Still no word on how much government will increase the national insurance contribution rate. It's a question reporters posed to State Minister Miles Laroda, who is responsible for the National Insurance Board, and that question remains unanswered. Now, based on an actuary report released months ago, a 1.5 to 2% increase was recommended. And so the question remains, will government take those figures into consideration?
Less than 2%? I say again, next week Tuesday, when I make my contribution, you will have that information.
State Minister responsible for NIB Miles Laroda remaining tight-lipped on what an increase for the national contribution rate could look like as of July 2024. This comes days after Prime Minister Philip Davis revealed that an increase would take effect next year as officials hope to save the fund from ongoing depletion. So why not implement the increase this year?
The ceiling increases next year, January. And so to move it earlier than that would have meant that employees would be paying on increased salary in January and then again in November, in July. And so we wanted to not only, we wanted to roll it out in July, and that way the employees in particular would have enough time, and so the public would also be aware of what the increase means, because it's going to be more than one.
Now, despite government choosing to give residents some breathing room, the fund is set to lose nearly $100 million due to the delay.
That's a reality. The numbers are what the numbers are. And that was taken into consideration also. But hopefully, once we have the whole regime rolled out, we don't expect to turn to black until somewhere within the next 4 to 6 years. And so we are, in the meantime, trying to enhance compliance, in particular with government agencies.
Meantime, adding insult to injury, Laroda says, is that several government agencies have been holding back on paying mandatory contributions.
Outstanding to national insurance from government agencies, it'd be fair to say, is in the millions. The government cannot be asking everybody else to be compliant when government agencies, some of them haven't been paying or paying consistently in the past. Some agencies have been a few years.
That said, officials will look to move with an iron fist.
Payments have been coming in from various agencies as it relates to national insurance, and moving forward, we expect these government agencies to be compliant.
And in an effort to further save the fund, could right-sizing be an option? Loretta responds.
Those of us who live in Nassau and have elderly parents or grandparents in the Outer Islands, say the Southern Islands, should the grandmother or pensioner in Maiguana not have access to national insurance? Should they wait for somebody to come from Nassau to hear their case? And so let us be guided as we look at figures and not understand holistically what those costs entail.
Prime Minister Philip Davis, in his statement, advised residents to make the necessary preparations for the increase next year. And while a figure has yet to be announced, only time will tell to see if it's one residents would be able to handle amid the ongoing inflationary period.
It sounds to me like we need to find some kind of independent body to do a full audit of this whole national insurance situation, particularly as it relates to monies outstanding. Because if you have government agencies that haven't paid national insurance for years, amounting to millions of dollars, my God, that is such a negative statement with regard to how seriously we're taking this whole insurance fund. Because if you ain't paying your own bill, and then on top of that you have individuals and businesses who haven't paid what they owe, and then you lend out national insurance money to various entities who haven't repaid. Are you serious? I mean, we were treating the National Insurance Fund like our own private cookie jar, it seems, where you just dishing out money in loans, and you ain't no rush to collect money from people who owe you. And now all of a sudden we find ourselves in this position. Oh, woe is me. How we can pay the old woman a pension money? How we can pay grandpa his pension money? How about we get serious about the fund? Go after all these government agencies and private businesses that owe all this money. And I wouldn't talk about the individuals who borrow all this money and ain't pay it back. And you expect the small man to carry the brunt of that? That's not right. That's not right. So either be serious about it or we're not. Is that a call for the show? Caller, welcome to GPS.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks. The point you're on right now, 2 points. This one in reference to national insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Miles, let me call him Minister Loretta. He is too real and upfront, I think, with what's going on in his area, because I don't understand just what you were saying. How could you ask persons or other companies or persons to pay their portion of national insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Employers, how could you ask? It's like asking a child or someone to do something and you're not complying.
Don't say what I do. Don't do what I had gonna.
Don't
do what I say, not what I do.
Yeah, but I mean, at the bottom line, it goes into whatever account. It's for the country's benefit, the people of the Bahamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were there to oversee that. You were there to ensure. And you're asking for accountability. You're asking for good governance.
Right.
And it seems he says that it's been going on as if it's the norm.
Mm-hmm. It pretty much is.
So who are the gatekeepers, and why has this been allowed to happen? And these are the things that make you really annoys you because it's so you hear people crying out all of the time and that you have to go up and down, you toe in the line, trying to get what you already contributed to.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get especially during the COVID time, you can't get your money. You can't get your money to to feed your children, to pay a little rent or whatever. But yet you have the actual keepers of the gate who are there to ensure that we get these things, to ensure that the funds are there. This isn't even. I'm not even going there in reference to them going after the persons who have not, the business owners who haven't paid. You doing the same thing?
Yeah. And the thing is, they've had some directors or whatever the position is, persons in charge of NIB making some hefty salaries. So if you're getting paid that kind of money, you should be making sure that this thing is running efficiently, I would think.
But who oversees who is over it? Just say is obviously one doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
The systems, the wheels was turning the way they should have been.
Right.
Who is there to oversee that? Which agency is that over that Ministry of Finance or whatever? The way they're coming down on taxes, real property taxes. They're going after who is supposed to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're clamping down now because that's why you see all this the pressures from all over the place. But who was responsible for ensuring that the managers or the management or the whoever, the chairman, chairman or whoever, the money was out. I mean, these are government agencies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I find it so difficult to wrap my head around and to feel as if we as a country, about to celebrate our 50th.
Mm-hmm.
We're in trouble. We're in trouble because it's not just slackness.
Yeah.
It's totally stuck. And one more thing before I go, in reference to the former chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation, making comments in reference to his concerns at that corporation, Water and Sewage, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so ironic, isn't it? It's so ironic, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd use the word ironic, but yeah, the word what
whatever
I would
word
use,
you can find up.
I will say on the air.
I don't understand people, the nerve of. I mean, you're innocent until proven guilty, of course. But then, buddy, you. I mean, you just lost your people, whatever. Now you can bring this to. I mean, people really have a lot of nerve in this country.
Unmitigated gall.
Exactly. But anyway, Michelle, you have a safe weekend, okay?
You too. Thank you so much for calling. I was could just be quiet on anything to do with that. And yeah, innocent until proven guilty. But I was going to wait till I get through my trial. And after I've been proven innocent, if I'm innocent, and then I was going to talk about these things. I mean, I think that's a sensible, decent thing to do. But that's just me. That's just me. Maybe, I don't know. These people deep. Yeah, we got to get serious in this country. We've been talking about these things forever. Back and forth, everybody doing the same thing. Everybody taking this for their own private slush fund. Not collecting the monies owed. And then putting pressure on people who are already going through so much. And let me tell you one of the things that they were doing at NIB. Then we can go to a break because I hear the music. I have a cousin who had a first child. She applied for the benefits you're supposed to get after having a baby. They turned that woman around, never gave her a dime. And then after the time passed, they say, oh, too much time has passed, so you're not eligible to receive this fund anymore. What kind of racket this is you're running? You intentionally delay an paid woman and then tell her she ain't eligible to be paid because too much time passed. Who benefiting from this inefficiency? I'd always tell you all, follow the money. Because somebody got to be benefiting from this. for this to be allowed to carry on for so long and everybody turning their eye. And now the chickens have come home to roost. And yeah, we can take a break. We'll be back on the other side. We're going to continue with the TGIF Open Line Show. I want to hear from you guys. This is your opportunity. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Global paradigm shift will return after
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs, but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting, sugar-free, berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Glasses love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
And this is GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global Radio 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company on this TGIF Open Line Show. Love to hear from you guys. The numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801 0271 801 0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm or Global 99.5 FM pages. We are also streaming live on YouTube on our official channels. And you can check us out on Cable Bahamas Channel 974 or on the Global 99.5 FM app. And, of course, you can also call in 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls, 801 801-801-0271. 801-0271. So every Friday around these parts, in case you're just tuning in or you're new around here, we treat this as an open line show where we talk about whatever it is that you, our audience, want to talk about within reason. That is not an open call for you to call and say anything libelous about anybody, because we're not going to tolerate that. But if you want to talk about it, the week that was, or anything that's on your mind, this is the time to do it. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
My sister in the Lord,
Yes, sir.
this is the day that the Lord has made.
Yeah.
Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I thought you would have finished it.
I can leave that to you.
Okay. I want to say happy Father's Day to all the brothers out there.
Uh-huh.
And I want to wish them a very, very pleasant Father's Day.
Okay.
And I would like for them to embrace themselves because, when it comes to fathers, the country is not positive towards fathers.
Mm.
But God has yet to give up on us. Papa, just stay focused. God has yet to give up on us.
Mm-hmm.
We understand this agenda. We understand the role that the enemy is trying to emasculate us, kill us. But nothing has been said, but, God still has the last say, Papa. I'm a proud grandfather today.
Mm-hmm.
And, I am trying to educate my grandchildren. You have a little noise in the back there. Can you hear that?
Yes, we can. You need to tell them to hold it down while you're on the air.
And Mary, I'm trying to educate now my grandchildren because I've finished educating the adults.
Mm-hmm.
I had 3 do 3 and above today, so I'm a proud grandfather, and 1 do 4 point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have a right to be proud.
Absolutely.
Now, I heard about an alleged Jezebel in Andres. It's alleged now.
Mm-hmm.
This Jezebel attacked a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those confused sisters was normally come on your show and who want to emasculate and kill out all of the alpha male man. I would like to hear from them about this 36-year-old Jezebel who disturbed this 13-year-old boy life in Andres. It's alleged now.
Now, for the record, according to the news, she has been charged with sexual assault, not necessarily the way you put it, say she attacked the boy, but she's being charged for having sexual contact. I'm trying to be diplomatic how I say this.
Yes, and I respect that.
With a 13-year-old boy.
Very much responsible.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not justifying what that person allegedly did, for the record.
Yes.
Because if it was a male doing it to a female,
oh yes,
there'd be all this uproar.
Oh, sister, did you hear my song I sent for you? Did you play it? Did you open it?
What song?
I done a beautiful song for you.
Where?
God has on your plague guy. He come in and record me, and I asked him to send it to you.
I probably didn't open it.
Okay, but listen, I want to say to your confused sisters who like to come on this show, and I see them as confused. I respect their views, but I want them to know this gender equality that they're fighting for, the same ditch that they are digging for someone's son to fall in. Remember, your nephew, your cousin, your own son might be the one to fall in that ditch. You see?
Hold on.
Now,
before you go any further, what ditch you talking about? What ditch they digging that they want people to fall in?
The gender equality. They trying to create a ditch.
How so?
But they're gonna be like Jezebel who fall out of the window.
How are they trying to create a ditch?
Because they want to compete. Number one, they want to compete and play the role or take the role from the man, which God has already set up and ordained. But they seem to have a problem with being a sister with grace. But they want to marital rape. That's a ditch. Now you have a 36-year-old interfering with a 13-year-old. Thank God for Jesus. That's Jezebel. Let me hear from the sisters respond to that. And many, many more, because I hear a thing called cougar. I don't know what it is. But I have 3 beautiful, handsome grandsons.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want no cougar attack them. I thought the last time I checked, cougar was an animal. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Sometimes I really love you. I'm not working you too hard today.
No.
Sometimes you do be on the male side.
It ain't about
and I gotta
me.
say it. You don't like me saying this, and I gotta be responsible.
It ain't about
I want your effeminate pastors. Your effeminate pastors who cannot respond to the pride flag that has been flying now for more than 2 weeks. Those effeminate pastors that you normally have on the show. Where are their voice? If Dr. Miles Monroe was alive, trust me, where are your effeminate pastors who is promoting marital rape? Why is it they can't respond to the gay pride? Silent give consent. Tell them respond to that. I took a picture of it. I went and I took a picture of it myself. And I took my grandchildren.
Are you talking about the flag that's flying over the U.S. Embassy?
Yes, that all over the world.
Right, but here in the Bahamas, you're talking about the flag that's flying over the U.S. Embassy, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you do realize that the U.S. Embassy is not considered the land upon which it is considered it is sitting is not considered Bahamian land, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You realize that is considered the United States of America, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just wondering.
But we also should make it clear, as a sovereign nation, we may not be able to stop it, but there should be a voice. There should be a voice from the gatekeepers, especially the Christian body and the Christian Council. They said we disapprove of it. You cannot stop it, and I agree with what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
But there should be a voice. If Dr. Miles Monroe was alive, you would have heard his voice. But those effeminate pastors promoting marital rape, so they could all they're into is economics. All they want is economics. Get the church full of women, and the offering stays full. That's what they want. The man all over the place. Now you got a 36-year-old alleged having sex with a 13-year-old. Tell your sisters, come and respond to that. Thanks for entertaining me. All the brothers, have a wonderful day. And listen to me. Sunday may not be positive, but hold on to your children and your grandchildren. They might bring you a cup of water when you get old. Thanks, my sister.
Thank you for calling. Let me say this. I do not believe that it is right for any adult to be having sexual intercourse with any child that is under the age of consent. I don't care if you male, female, or in between. Wrong is wrong and right is right. And it is wrong for any adult to be having sexual relations with a child. And I don't care how mature that child may appear to be, because, this is often the excuse that people use when you hear about these activities that, she don't look 16 or he don't look 13 or, I don't care how they look. I don't care how developed they are physically. They're still children. So I don't condone that behavior in any which way. Male, female, or in between, I don't care. If you are having sexual relations with an underage child, you are a pedophile. And you need to go before the courts and you need to pay for your crime. Bottom line. I will say this though. It amazes me how, when we see an older man with a young woman, When I say young, I don't mean under the legal age, but somebody who young enough say to be their daughter, right? Because you have some men who, I want a old woman. She got to be young. She got to be this man. You they wouldn't break down, but they want the younger version. Nobody calls that man who decides to go with a younger version, a younger woman. Nobody castigates any kind of, you know, negativity towards him for doing that. They pat him on the back. Boy, this pretty young thing you got on your arm, hey, good for you. You's a man. You are a man's man because you got this eye candy on your arm. And boy, mind you, she young enough to be your daughter. Ain't nobody got no problem with that. But the minute a woman, an older woman, decides to have a relationship with a younger man, and again, I'm not talking about children. That's off limits. I don't care how mature physically that child is, they're still a child. I'm talking about adults. The minute an older woman decides to have a relationship with a younger man, then there's all this negativity that's cast her way. Oh, she's a cougar. Oh, she robbing the cradle. Oh, she this. Oh, she the next. Well, how come the same don't apply to these old fellas who's be looking for these young women to go make themselves feel like they young and they still got it? How come the same negativity don't apply to them? How come it's only cast towards the female who decides to have a relationship with a younger man? You ever notice that? It's like how when a man gets gray hair, he's distinguished. He's distinguished looking, but when a woman gets gray hair, she old. We gotta stop the double standard. Again, for the record, because some of y'all only just hear what you want to hear. I am not in any which way condoning sexual activity between an adult and a child. I don't care if the perpetrator is male or female or whatever. I'm not condoning that. That is just outright demonic and wrong. And oftentimes, when you are particularly a young teenager, you think you feel like you're an adult. You think, but your mind hasn't developed yet, even if your body has. So you're an easy prey. And you do have some people who prey on that, who take advantage of that. And, I'm not condoning that in any which way. So everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but if it's found that the person is guilty, I don't care what gender you are, male, female, or in between, you need to pay for the crime that you've committed. But I'm just speaking in general, in terms of the double standards that exist in our culture as it relates to relationships between older men and younger women, or older women and younger men. Because some older men, and it's not just, I just only talking about the Bahamas. I mean, how many times have we see a man so old he could hardly get out his own way, and especially if he got money. Don't let him have a little bit of wealth. I mean, he's so old and decrepit, look like the crypt keeper, but yet he going for the 20-something-year-old girl. And common sense should tell him she may be in love, but it ain't with you, it's with your money. But yet, he going after that young girl. Really? But if the shoe's on the other foot, she's a cougar. She's what you call it? She robbing the cradle. She this, she the next. So yeah, that's just something I want you to consider, Dr. P. When you go after calling a woman Jezebel. And again, if she found guilty, throw the book at her. because ain't no adult should be fooling with no 13-year-old child. Ain't no way to cut around that. Ain't no way to justify that. Wrong is wrong. But I just throwing that out there to say the double standard we seem to have as it relates to that type of thing. And there are many prominent men in this country who are older who go on and marry these younger women because that make them feel young. But you're still old. Let me stop. Let me behave myself today on These People Radio. The telephone number is to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801-0271. Louis Barton says, they're supposed to be smart. Looks like the smarter you are, the dumber you become. I'm not sure who you're referring to on that. And then we have another comment coming in from Sandra that says that's considered the U.S., but still in the Bahamas. It is, if it was another country, it would have been discussed before it was put up. No, they don't have to discuss anything with any government anywhere in the world if it's on their embassy soil. They ain't got to discuss nothing with nobody because that is not considered the soil of the country where it is. That is considered U.S. territory, U.S. soil. They ain't got to discuss nothing with nobody. You ever see in countries where people sometimes face persecution and they just try to make it to a particular embassy. And you see it in the movies sometimes where you have the military or whoever of the particular country they in chasing them. And they just got to make it behind the gate of that particular embassy. And once they make it behind the gate, the people who are chasing them can't go no further. Why? Because that is no longer considered their country. That's a different country within that country. So they ain't got to discuss nothing with nobody. If they choose to raise that flag over their embassy, that's their land. That's just the way it is in this world we living in. And nobody can tell them what to do or not do on their land. So, we could make noise, we could talk about it, but we can't stop them from doing that. Because that is considered the United States of America. And this is what y'all don't seem to understand. They don't have to discuss that with nobody. So, I'm not saying that I like or agree with it, but it is what it is. That is U.S. territory. And the United States could do whatever they want to do on their territory. That's how it works. So, it is what it is. Okay, we have to take a break. On the other side of the break, let's talk about some other stories that have made the news this past week or whatever else you guys want to talk about. This is the time. Love to hear from you. And so, hopefully on the other side of the break, we'll get some more feedback from more of you out there. This is GPS. We'll be back.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127 or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 hyperimmune egg powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
And we are back on this TGIF Open Line show. And would love to hear from you as we discuss the week that was. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 8010271, 8010271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm or Global 99.5 FM pages. Also streaming live on our YouTube channels. Check us out there, like and share the show. And you can also catch us on Cable Bahamas on channel 974, on the Global 99.5 FM app, and of course on radio. 99.5 FM on your dial here in New Providence, and also we are airing in Grand Bahama. So a huge welcome to those of you listening in from Grand Bahama. So I have a comment from somebody talking about what we were just talking about prior to the break, about that being the territory of the United States. And D'Amico says, it's lawful And that applies to all embassies and all consulates. That's right, it does. Any embassy and consulate anywhere in the world is considered the territory of the country it represents. And Bahamians need to wrap their mind around that. So those people aren't flying that flag in the Bahamas. I know it doesn't make sense, on the surface, right? But that's just the way it is. That flag is not being flown in the Bahamas. That is being flown on U.S. territory, U.S. soil. So, we could make all the noise we want to make. You can't tell them what to do. On that territory, that's their land. That's the United States of America. So, that's just the way it is. All right. So, let's see what else is happening this week. So, somebody talked about Adrian Gibson standing up in the House of Assembly this week talking about the money at water and storage. And just, a day or so ago, it was determined that, yes, he will have to face a trial. He lost his appeal to try to have it quashed. Here now is more on that.
Long Island MP Adrian Gibson and his 5 co-accused will return to court on June 19th after the Court of Appeal today lifted the temporary stay of the trial ordered on May 22nd and dismissed the appeal against Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson's ruling. The ruling today was handed down by Justice John Isaacs. It comes after Gibson's attorney Muriel DeSille abandoned 6 of his 7 grounds of appeal, which he led with prosecution's crown witness Alexandria Mackey's inability to testify in person. DeSille also alleged that defense was not given sufficient time to prepare an argument and subsequently called for the dismissal of the jury and the setting of a new trial date. He even argued that he did not request a permanent stay of the trial, but rather a temporary stay, as he claimed the proceedings are moving too fast. Ian Cargill, counsel for former Water and Sewage General Manager Elwood Donaldson, also abandoned his grounds of appeal, which, after 5 hours of deliberation, brought the proceedings to a swift close. Now, on May 15th, Justice Grant Thompson dismissed Gibson's application in the Supreme Court to stay the trial, calling the application misconceived and premature. Grant Thompson, in a ruling, stated Gibson's constitutional rights would not be infringed and that he can be given a fair trial even if the Crown's key witness gives testimony virtually. Both Gibson and Donaldson, along with Roche Gibson, Joe Knowles, Peaches Farquharson, and Jerome Missick, are facing 98 corruption-related charges, including bribery, conspiracy to commit bribery, fraud, conspiracy to commit fraud, receiving, and money laundering, all stemming from the time the now embattled MP served as executive chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation under the Minnis administration. A 5-man, 4-women jury was impaneled on May 19th, who will now decide the fate of the group. After hearing the statements of over 40 witnesses, including the former Works Minister Desmond Bannister, current Water and Sewage Corporation Chairman Sylvanus Petty, and defendant-turned-Crown witness Tanya Demerit.
So Richard says on Facebook, you want to hear about the political personalities and parties who've been to Long Island during the regatta with the difference potential individuals, so potentially canvassing for the seat held by the sitting. Sounds like they secretly looking at by-election. All the big political figures were there. I've been hearing that for a little while. That people are lining up just in case. I think a lot of people were waiting to hear what would happen with the appeal. And now that that has failed, he has to face trial. You best believe the various parties, and maybe you want to do independence, I don't know. But people now starting to strategize as to what will happen if, in fact, he is found guilty, or whether a by-election is going to have to be held. They're sitting back and waiting, they planning. So it'll be interesting to watch to see what happens. Boy, this could be a very interesting trial, considering who has turned state's evidence It's going to be some interesting revelations, I think, that are going to come forward. So somebody sent a message on WhatsApp that says, Al Pacino, age 83, girlfriend 29, just had a baby. Yeah, but he's just a man's man. Anyhow, another person says, we pay NIB to be protected in the event of a pandemic, but they just did not expect an event like a pandemic. So NIB makes loans that are never repayable. They better try to go get that money. Because it ain't right for you to tell Grammy and Grandpa, after all those years of contributing to that fund, that ain't nothing left to pay them. That ain't right. So all that money which y'all got outstanding at all them big time corporations and big time businesses and all those monies which y'all lend out to people, y'all better go find them people money. You can't let it fail. That would just not be right to let it fail, because those people looking for their help. Okay, just looking through some of these messages. Yeah, so very interesting to see what's going to happen. I think everybody will be glued to that trial to see, the information that comes out therein. Now that it's been determined that he's going to have to face trial. So, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. So somebody mentioned Clint Watson. Clint Watson has moved on from being the press secretary and has vacated that position and is now looking to take up the role of general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. According to reports, he starts, I think, officially either today or Monday. I'm not sure which one. But I think he has held his last press briefing at the office of the Prime Minister and was questioned by members of the media as to whether or not he was being forced out of OPM. And he pushed back against that narrative and said, not at all. So here's more on that.
Clint Watson moving on from his position as press secretary at OPM as he assumes the role of general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. It's a move that sparked speculation as to why Watson would make such a move, but he says his goals for national development remain the same.
I came here, I believe I made an impact here. That passion still lies within me to ensure that media is serving our people the way it could fully serve our people and provide coverage to our people. And so when the opportunity presented itself, and it was presented to me as to whether I would be willing to go over and help in a greater capacity, as you know, I was consulting for a few months, and then the opportunity came, well, can you do this on a regular basis? And so the opportunity came, I thought about it long and hard. I thought about this wonderful job as press secretary, and then I recognized that the next job isn't as glamorous. It requires a lot of work, and whether I was up for that. And the answer was yes.
Watson responding to questions regarding concerns about the impartiality of the BCB and his forthcoming role as its general manager. He dismissed claims of bias as an unfair characterization.
I think it's unfair to classify ZNS as being partial, because it's operated and run by the government. Any government entity around the world in media, their focus and attention is on what government is doing. That's not partiality, that's the mandate of a state-run enterprise anywhere. BBC, CBC in Canada, state-run enterprises, their intention and their purpose is to make sure that its citizen is aware of what government is doing.
And as for his plans for the BCB, Watson emphasizes that he's not going to try to push the company in the right direction, but rather help it to accelerate towards its goals.
We want to do a lot more as far as news programming, a lot more as far as television programming, entertainment, a lot more with radio entertainment. And so there are a number of things together with the team that we want to do to ensure that ZNS and the Broadcasting Corporation is the choice for entertainment and news and information, and not just an option, but it is people's first choice.
So I wish Clint Watson well in his new role as general manager of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas. That's going to be some heavy lifting there. As someone who did 20 years at that corporation, I know the challenges he's going to face. And even though it's been a long time since I left there, it's amazing. I left ZNS in 2005. And people still come up to me, "You still at ZNS?" I'm like, "Miss, I've been gone there for almost 20 years now. And you asking me if I still there. Really?" But that ain't no easy place. I can tell you all right now. That ain't no easy place. He gonna have his work cut out for him. I think a big part of the problem with ZNS is you have a lot of people who are just stuck in their way. And you try to make changes, and they will do everything within their power to make it difficult for you to make those changes. I've been there, done that. When I left ZNS, I was assistant general manager. And I can tell you some of the difficulties that he will face. He says that he will not go in there with any kind of revenge attitude because he believes that while he was there, he was sidelined. And reports are there are a lot of concerns among staff members who may not have seen eye to eye with him before he left ZNS, that he will come in there and be vindictive and try to get back at them for what he may perceive to have been being slighted in any kind of way. But, I hope that he goes in there and really does everything within his power to try to turn that ship around. But that's not going to be an easy job. That is not going to be an easy job to do. I had an opportunity to serve as general manager of ILTV for a short time. At the time when ILTV was being launched, and Clint was then the news director. And it's not an easy job. And ILTV was not shackled with much of what he's going to be shackled with at ZNS. So I wish him well. And that ain't going to be no easy job. We have a call on the line. Caller, welcome to GPS.
Yes, good afternoon, Michelle. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Wonderful. Michelle, when the vice president was here, any deals were made?
I don't know. Those were closed meetings. So we can only report on what was reported to us.
Okay. Now, they said that the Caribbean is going to get something like what, $100 million for some.
Yeah.
What they have to do to get that?
Well, again, you were asking the wrong person. I wasn't in the people meeting.
Okay, Michelle.
Yes.
When she came over here, I told somebody watch out for her, and she came and said exactly what I said. I support you all.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I do.
She said that.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, see, I tell people the LBG, the homosexual, lesbian, nobody should physically harm them. If they get somebody go and beat them up, they should get locked up. But what they're trying to do, they're trying to desensitize us to their lifestyle and to accept it. You ever watch the commercials on television, all these different medications? Mm-hmm. Now you're seeing two men hugging up, two men kissing. Mm-hmm. You ever notice it?
Of course.
And so what they're trying to do to us, Michelle?
To desensitize you to something that in the past was considered taboo. They want it to be more normalized, so you don't react in a negative way towards it anymore.
And like I said, no physical harm. Nobody should go there and beat them or nothing like that. So what I'm saying, Michelle, is this, that they want us to accept their lifestyle. They don't want us to speak up. Not all in the United States, and it can happen here. It's coming. They're getting locked up because they're quoting scripture verses against the LGBT and all of that. They don't want you to speak out against it. It's in God's word. When I speak to people, I say, now listen here. I say fornicators, adulterers, murderers, liars. I put that first. He says, should not, those who practice that lifestyle shall not inherit the kingdom of God. So I just don't just say, come right out and say, okay, lesbian, or homosexual, or sodomites, that's the biblical term, and will not inherit. So I say, not just the LGBT or the lesbian. I said, if you be a fornicator or adulteress, and you live a liar, a habitual, say you will not inherit the kingdom of God. So I let them know that. And so that's, I think as Christians, we don't have enough churches that preach the whole concept of God. Like they're afraid to touch it. They don't really come out forcefully and say it. Why? Because we know if you call a meeting now and say, we want all preachers to come downtown, speak the truth in love, stand up, let us know where you stand as an individual against this lifestyle. You see many of the big churches would not come. Or the leaders will not come.
Well, I think a part of the reason for that is that many of them are compromised. So you have, I don't want you to sleep, we have a lot of people from the LGBTQI community who are entrenched from the pastor position straight down.
And they give a lot of money. They have it, they give it, and all of that. Like I said, I have no hatred. I have some family members, but like I said, I can let them know. I don't condone your lifestyle. Yes, we're friends, you and my family. When I see them, we go to outing, I hug them, shake their hands, everything. I have no problem with that. But don't try to push it down my throat and don't want us to say anything what God says in his word.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for calling. Okay, let's take our final break. And then on the other side, we're going to wrap things up. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Longevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Longevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Yo, 99.5.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM on this TGIF open line show. We just have a few minutes left in the show. So if you want to call in, you got to do so quickly. Don't wait until the last minute of the show and then call and then expect me to have a long conversation. It don't work like that. So here, once again, is how you can call in. 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages or calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. If you want to call in, do so quickly. We only have a few minutes left in the show. We are, of course, streaming live on Facebook. Huge welcome to all of our Facebook audience on the Global 99.5 FM or Michelle Malcolm pages, also our YouTube audience, and those of you watching by way of Cable Bahamas Channel 974. It's always a pleasure to have our radio audience in the house. Global 99.5 FM is the on the dial, which you tune into, and a huge welcome to the folks listening in from Grand Bahama. So I definitely want to encourage you guys to continue to support the show, and especially the businesses that support the show. As I would have expressed before, the show cannot exist without their and your support. So if you like what you hear, if you like the work that we do here, put your money where your mouth is. Go ahead and support the show to keep it on the air, because that's the only way it'll stay on the air. Otherwise, I hear a lot of people say, oh, this person sell out, or oh, that person sell out, talking about other media personalities who accepted positions elsewhere. But I want you all to understand something as a media personality. We are human beings like you are. We have needs like you have. We need to eat. We have to pay taxes like you do. We have to, pay our light bill like you do. We don't live off of love and adoration. It's wonderful for when you see me, oh, Michelle, I just love your show. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But understand that we don't live off of love and adoration. Just like you, I got bills to pay. Radio station has bills to pay. It's got staff to pay. It's got a light bill to pay. All of that. So as much as you say, oh, people shouldn't, I've heard some comments about other journalists who have taken positions with government or whatever, and people, talking down to them. People got families, children to feed. And if they were presented with an opportunity, I can't say that I blame them for taking it. Because we don't live off of your love and adoration. So if you like what you hear, if you are appreciative of the work that goes into preparing shows such as this, put your money where your mouth is. Support the show financially, whether that means supporting the businesses and making sure they know I'm here because I heard about you on GPS, because that's the only way they're going to know where the traffic is coming from. Otherwise, they're going to say to me when I walk in there for a payment, well, Michelle, we ain't getting the kind of traction we thought we would get from your show. So I don't know if we can continue to support this show. That's the reality of this business that we're in. So if you really like the work, and trust me, it is work, to come here every day with a new topic and new guests, and sometimes I get so tired. I just have to shut it down because it wears on you physically, emotionally. This is work. I don't just come in here and start shooting off my mouth for 2 hours. This requires work. And if you are enjoying what we do on this show, we're asking for your support. All right? Okay. So that's my time. Less than a minute to go, almost 4 o'clock. Got to get out of here. I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your routine. Really appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I pray that you get something in addition to the crab and rice. Ladies, treat those gentlemen well. And all the best to you. Have a safe weekend, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views and opinions expressed on this